I think what we really need is we need to go back to the comprehensive immigration bill. This is an emergency situation on the border,
Yep.
fine. The United States is a nation of immigrants, so you've got to allow people to come in. We still want to allow people to come in on asylum. But what we don't want is a 2 and 3 year period of where these people come in before their cases are heard. So the immigration bill that was proposed and agreed by Congress was going to put more judges, more courts in there, and work out that backlog so that we didn't have the problem of people given almost indefinite status in the United States waiting for their cases to be heard. Now, beyond that, for the people who are illegally crossing the border, people who are here without papers, the people who are criminals, they shouldn't be here. Countries have to protect their borders.
Let me ask you about one other issue while we have you here, because there's going to be a vote we think that could happen tonight on the man President Trump wants to be the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Here's what Senator Schumer, the Democratic leader, said on the floor earlier today.
Is Pete Hegseth really the best we have to lead the greatest military in the world? Is this man with a history of excessive drinking really the guy you want on the other end of the phone at 2 a.m. in a crisis? In control of the nuclear codes? Is this man, with a mile-long list of allegations of abusing, degrading, and harassing women, the one we want leading our men and women into battle?
So there are two, as you know, Republican senators who may be against Hegseth. We'll see how they actually vote tonight. But if that's the case, he would still be confirmed. Your views on his confirmation?
I think he's going to be confirmed. I think it's the president's choice. That's our system. I think the senior ranks in the military will do the best they can to work with the officer or leader appointed over them. He's got some big shoes to fill in Lloyd Austin, who knew the system and had the respect of all the men and women in uniform. Pete Hegseth has got to prove himself. He's got to earn their respect. Having the office is one thing, but actually doing the job is another. And, we really need to increase the defense budget. Senator Roger Wicker, who's chairman of the Armed Services Committee, called for a 100% increase in the defense budget, double it, he said, because we're that far behind in terms of procurement, fixing our forces, and being ready to face four adversaries. This is a huge management job.
Right.
And,
can I ask you about that specifically? Because the person in that job would, generally speaking, have either a background like yours, right, or General Austin's, or maybe they would come from government and having served as a senator or congressman, or people have worked for defense contractors, all of that kind of thing. What about the background, Pete's background, and the challenges that would present in doing that job, in your view, if any?
He doesn't have any experience in that, but he does have the experience of sort of looking at it from the bottom up. And knowing if you're not giving good equipment to the troops, if you can't deliver it on time, and so forth. So that's not worth nothing. But he's got to have people around him that he trusts who do have that experience, because you're managing a huge bureaucracy. There's a lot of legal stuff there. There's contracting laws. There's how you can set multi-year procurements up. There's how you can bypass the laws in an emergency. There's how to get money through the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency to do certain things. There's all the business about selling weapons overseas and getting them to our allies and taking funds from Russia. That's what we really need to do, is take those Russian funds that are put away and not given to Russia, use them to buy U.S. weaponry for Ukraine, and have our allies do the same thing. But that's a management job. You've got to have lawyers. You've got to get the companies lined up. You've got to go on a 24/7 work. All that requires paperwork. It requires attention to detail and management skill.
General Clark, as always, thank you, sir. We always appreciate it. General Wesley Clark with us today. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.